Question 13, Miss Edge.
Thank you, Mr President. I'd like to ask the Minister for Education, Sport and Culture if he'll make a statement on the completion of works at St Mary's School.
The Minister for Education, Dr Allinson.
Thank you, Mr President. The refurbishment of St Mary's School in Douglas has been an important project to improve the educational facilities on our island. The scheme was started in March 2018 and aimed to address a lack of access for people with disabilities across this multi-level school site. There had been a long-standing capacity issue which had been met with the use of temporary mobile classrooms as well as an inadequate hall facility. All internal areas of accommodation apart from the hall were completed and handed over by Christmas 2019, with the school receiving areas in a phased manner from September 2018 as the works have progressed. The refurbishment and extended facilities have been very well welcomed by pupils and staff. Following some disruption due to the state of emergency, the contractor proposed final completion of the external works and remedial works on the external cladding through to June 2020, when the site cabins and compounds were removed and the grass playing field area reinstated. The primary matter preventing the formal completion of the works are issues remaining with the new roof installation, for which we are awaiting acceptable remedial proposals from the contractor. And this is why the scaffold edge protection and scaffold access tower remain in place at the school. There is also an issue with moisture levels within the existing hall floor slab, which is preventing the laying of the new floor finish across the new extended hall and installation of the folding screens to complete the hall, but otherwise the hall is in full operation with temporary flooring in place. Remedial works have been undertaken to existing under-slab drainage and moisture levels are being monitored. Thank you, Mr President.
Supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Can the Minister confirm with regard, is there any contractual issues and is the roofing contractor still on island to do any of the remedial works? And can he also confirm that there's no additional cost to the taxpayer?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for her question about the roof. This is a poly roof, warm flat roof with 2 layers of insulation laid over a plywood roof decking. And then has a resin finishing coat to waterproof the whole area. There are 2 primary issues that need resolution for this. One is a small amount of moisture trapped in the roof due to rain ingress during the laying of the roof, and also inadequate adhesion of the insulation to the floor deck between the insulation layers, giving some concerns about possible uplift in the future. There has been extensive dialogue with the contractors about this. And also there's been extensive testing with the off-island firm who have installed it as subcontractors. We are continuing dialogue with them on a regular basis, monitoring the situation, and should they need to come back over to reinstate any areas of the roof, this will be discussed with the Cabinet Office. Thank you.
Honourable Member, Mr Hooper.
Thank you very much, Mr President. The Minister mentioned in his answer long-standing capacity issues at the school, which will hopefully be resolved, at least in part, with this new work. The Minister is aware, obviously, the school itself launched new catchment area conditions, new admission criteria recently. Does he not worry that actually broadening the admission criteria is going to cause the long-standing capacity issues to re-emerge in the very near future, which will then necessitate even more works to be undertaken at the school?
You want to broaden this out into catchment areas, but Minister.
Thank you very much. I thank the Honourable Member for his comments about catchment areas and the capacity of the school. The capacity of the school will significantly increase due to the work that's been carried out. As I said in my original answer, most of that work was carried out really to make the school far more accessible, particularly to those young people, children and perhaps staff who may have disabilities. But in terms of the capacity of the school, the notional capacity is currently 275. The current academic year we have 288 students in the school, and I understand that when all the modifications have been completed, this will extend to over 300 in terms of the capacity of the school. In terms of the catchment areas, the catchment area for children who are baptised is very wide. It covers the entire the entire island. but there is a more limited catchment area for those children who do not have a faith but still live within the catchment area of the school. We hope to observe the application to the school very closely and make sure that any increase in students wanting to come to this excellent school are monitored properly. Thank you.
Thank you. As I said, I'm not having this broadened out into questions regarding the catchment area. Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would the Minister note any lessons from the completion of works to St Mary's School, for instance, relative to Henry Bloom Nobles, which should be taken into account with School on Jubilee, for instance, in other words, having its own site to build on rather than having to build round pupils?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank the honourable member for the question. I think each time you build a school or refurbish a school, you learn a little bit more about it. There were particular lessons learnt with this school, although a comprehensive survey was done. When the works were underway, it was found that there was a limited amount of asbestos, for instance, within the school that needed to be cleared out, and also some of the roof trusses needed to be reinforced with steel, which delayed the total build. But certainly what we hope to do at St Mary's, working with the diocese very, very closely, is to expand the capacity there, to also expand the ability of children of faith to use that school, but also the ability for other children and young people who live within that catchment area to make use of the improved facilities. Thank you.
Final supplementary, Ms Edge.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Minister didn't answer the question with regards to any additional costs, and beginning to wonder whether the Minister could confirm, is he confident with the capability of his department to manage these large projects, bearing in mind what's coming later on the Tynwald order paper? Are you confident that the design team and your department are managing projects well within your department?
Minister to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I thank the honourable member for her question. In terms of the overall cost, we expect this to come in on budget, and in terms of the capacity and expertise within my department to carry out such projects, I have complete confidence in them. Thank you.
Please like and subscribe to the Isle of Man TV channel. Thank you.